It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, good Wednesday morning to you. Glad you're here, whether you're watching, listening, whatever you're doing, driving down the road. Thanks for being with us on this Wednesday morning. We're going to start with some news.
Yeah, here's some changes to Missouri law that you might need to know about. Governor Parson just signed a few, all of which came about after certain incidents that incited change. First of all, Blair's Law now makes celebratory gunfire illegal within a Missouri municipality. That was after an incident in 2011. Meanwhile, Valentine's Law increases penalties for people who run away from law enforcement. And finally, Max's Law increases penalties for injuring or killing law enforcement dogs. So, 3 new things to be aware of. Now to this, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, surely you know her by now, is pregnant. Yeah. Her story made national headlines, of course, after she grew up with an abusive mom who had Munchausen's by proxy. That's where she made her daughter believe that she was sick in order to receive services. Gypsy and her then boyfriend then took her mom's life. Gypsy spent 8.5 years in prison. There's been many documentaries made about her. And again, she's pregnant now. She says she's going to focus solely on motherhood. And her former fiance is the father.
Yeah, I think there's a part of the country that's still captivated by that story. I know that it shows up on my news alerts sometimes, and not that I follow it, but it must know that I live here and have interest in that case, which I do. But I think a lot of people have been captivated by that story, and it is a crazy story.
I hope for her and for the child. I was surprised when she was getting out of prison, the lack of mental health, like counseling, I guess you would call it, that she had gone through, because that's a lot. That's a lot.
Well, yeah, she's been through a lot in her life for sure. Then there's this. After some upgrades, the Springfield Greene County Health Department is now moving back into its old building. The one that was basically made to look like new. Yeah. By the end of the month, you can head into the main building along Chestnut Expressway, right there across from the police department. They're moving back in now. You'll be able to visit them soon. The health department temporarily moved to the Cox North Medical Tower while renovations were underway. Mm-hmm. They are completed now, and back in they go. And then federal money will help improve a couple of bridges in Springfield that are old and could use the work. City Council accepted grant money that will help pay for about 80% of the cost of those improvements. The Grant Avenue Viaduct will be rehabbed, and the Martin Luther King Jr. Bridge on Benton Avenue will have some work done on it as well. Both of those are among the oldest in Springfield. And in fact, the Grant Avenue Bridge is the oldest. It was originally built in 1927.
1927.
Getting up there.
Great Depression time, right? It's pretty wild.
Close to it, yeah.
Now to this. Progress on part of the Forward SGF 20-year plan is happening. Springfield is getting about $25 million in federal grant money to connect the city's trail system, where there are currently spaces or gaps in it. The Wilson's Creek Trail, the Jordan Creek Trail, the Trail of Tears Trail, all of those will soon be better connected with that federal grant money. This is mostly valuable for people on the west side of town and the neighborhoods there. But I'm excited about that. I, for one, am excited about that.
Well, who doesn't love a good trail system?
I love a trail system. I have friends who've moved to Bentonville, Arkansas, just for the trail system. But you know what Bentonville has that Springfield doesn't? Walmart money.
Walmart money. It is a nice trail system. We've been there and love Bentonville.
66 miles of paved trail, I believe, and then even more than that of mountain biking trail. But paved trail alone, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on the number, I think it's 66 miles though. Yeah. I tried to ride 50 of it before Ethan got out of bed last time we were there.
Did you do it?
No, there were a lot of stoplights along the way. You can't just cruise.
See, so that's why I don't get out of bed. We told you about the ongoing saga of the Chiefs talking about moving over to the Kansas side of the state line. But for his part, Missouri Governor Mike Parson said he's not too worried about it. He met with Kansas City's mayor yesterday.
I don't like that, by the way. I don't like that he said that.
He feels too comfortable? Is that what you're saying?
Them are fighting words, Governor Parson. You know? I can see it.
Well, he must know something that we don't if he's going to say that, because you don't want to jinx it. Both the Chiefs and the Royals are at least considering moving, or at least they're saying they're considering moving. I don't know. After Jackson County voters rejected that proposal to extend a sales tax for 40 years to help finance a brand new downtown Kansas City baseball stadium for the Royals and upgrades to Arrowhead for the Chiefs. So it continues. They haven't made a decision yet.
And he made so yesterday when he was signing that crime bill and several other bills, reporters were just asking him about it. And he had said that he hadn't talked to the owners, but he was with the Kansas City mayor and had spent a sizable amount of time with him. So maybe he knows something that we don't know. All I know is I don't like I'm not worried about it. Big deal.
I'm not too worried about it. Famous last words.
Exactly.
From the Royals to the Cardinals now, Hall of Fame shortstop Ozzie Smith is coming to Branson, which is super cool. He is the keynote speaker for an upcoming fundraiser for the boys and girls clubs of the Ozarks. It's planned for October 10th at the Branson Convention Center, and Ozzie's a big draw, very charismatic, and I used to call him the Wizard when I was a kid, as did everybody else, but I loved Ozzie. He was my favorite player growing up. I grew up in St. Louis and played shortstop for a little while and just loved Ozzie. And now, let's see, where is it? Right there. That jersey right there is an Ozzie jersey. It says Ozzie, the Wizard, and it has 13-time Gold Glove on it, Hall of Famer.
And he's the one who did backflips, right?
He did a backflip on opening day. That's right. He'd run out, do a backflip.
If I was a good wife, I might buy you a ticket. Maybe. We'll see about that. Got to check the calendar. Calendar gets a little busy.
I'm pretty sure Ozzie has a restraining order against me based on his visits to St. Louis. When I was up there working, he would come into the station, and I had him sign all kinds of stuff. So I have my Little League glove that has.
Were you threatening or something, or you just?
No. He signed so much stuff for me. I think he's like, all right, sir, that's enough. But one of the things was I have a Little League glove, Rawlings glove, that has the fake Ozzie Smith autograph in the palm. Yeah. And I also have the real Ozzie Smith autograph on the outside of it, and then several other things. I've got stuff all over signed by Ozzie Smith because I loved him growing up.
I need to ask you this question. I feel like I should know it since I'm a mother, but when we were pregnant, we have 3 children. We never found out the gender of any of the 3 because we don't like to plan our lives and we like to be surprised. So the first one we thought could be a boy. Turns out it was a girl.
Keep going.
We had picked out the name Eli, and we ended up having a girl. So then we, of course, had to call an audible when she got here. But we had the boy name picked out. It was Eli. And Ethan at the time still had one of his best friends who was working at the station in St. Louis, where Ethan got laid off from. And so Ozzie would come in there regularly, and Ethan had him, his friend, get a ball signed by Ozzie. Was it Ozzie? Am I right about this? From Ozzie. Oh, there it is. Yeah. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. If you are listening,
you can't read it.
Yeah.
This is the ball. You might be able to see it there a little bit. To Eli. See that?
Okay, there it goes. Yeah, there it goes. So it's kind of your camera.
To Eli, good luck and best wishes to a future Cardinal, a future Redbird.
Yeah. Isn't
Ozzie
that cool?
Smith. See if I get it to focus.
I think you have to put it closer to your face because you have on autofocus. All the real photographers in the audience are freaking out right now.
Yeah, but
he has it on autofocus. There it is. Gotcha. Okay. Anyway, there you go. Now
To
you know.
Eli.
That's the story.
What are you gonna do?
We never had Eli. We had Caroline. And
Yes. If anybody
then we
needs
had
a
another
ball,
girl and then finally a boy, but we didn't name him Eli because Eli was only for the first one. It didn't feel fitting for the third. I don't know
I'll
why.
sell this for a fair price to anybody named Eli.
Oh, that's cute. Actually, you know what? Yes, you will. I think that's a great idea.
No,
I
it's
don't
a
know if
better
he means
story.
it,
I'm
though.
not giving that away. Signed by Ozzy.
You could pay him $1 million and he still wouldn't give it to you. It's fine. I kind of thought that was actually what was happening, but I thought there was a chance.
it was
So you're
right over
saying
there.
there's a chance.
Right over there in the basement.
I knew what you were doing. I knew you were going to get that ball. So I just let it be. Okay, moving on. Or wait, let me say this. That's October 10th. I don't know if Ethan said that. October 10th. He'll be in Branson at the convention center. Speaking again on behalf of the Boys and Girls Club of the Ozarks. Very good. Okay, now to this. 'Tis the season for the 12th annual Birthplace of Route 66 Festival coming up soon. Mark your calendars for Thursday, August 8th through Saturday, August 10th. All happening in downtown Springfield. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. This year's theme is Get Your Motor Running. Always draws a big crowd. It's free. There are vendors on hand to buy food and drinks and live music and so many classic cars. So check it out. All to celebrate the Mother Road.
That's a fun event. I mean, it's hot, but it's a fun event.
It is a fun event. We went, let's see if this is year 12, I guess we went for the first 9. Is that correct? We went for the first
several.
9 years.
We were there when it started. Yeah.
One of my favorite pictures of us was taken at that festival. There you go.
Was it?
Okay. And then we will end with this. It is the second time in just a couple days that black bears were spotted in these Ozarks. 3 black bears, a mom and 2 cubs were in a neighborhood on Monday night in Ridgedale before sundown. And then over the weekend on Sunday afternoon, there was a bear running in downtown Ava, which is kind of fun because they are the bears. Ava
the Bears, right?
is the Bears.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just feel like it is worth reporting that you need to be aware.
Well, I don't think that either of those 2 places, it's not like downtown Springfield. I don't think it's out of the ordinary to know that a bear could be around in either Ava or Ridgedale, right? It's pretty wooded out there in Ridgedale.
Ridgedale is very wooded, and it looked to me like a wooded neighborhood. Ava, Douglas County, of course, is very rural, but the city square does not seem as such. So that's a little bit like, Yeah. Anyway.
Well, they're there. We just don't see them most of the time, but they're there.
Yeah. You better watch out for that.
Yeah.
You better watch out for that.
They're not called the Ava Bears for nothing.
Now you know. Now you know that their mascot wanted to make an appearance. So, all right. Anything else?
All right.
Anything else, sir? Is that it?
I think that'll wrap it up for Wednesday.
We spoke yesterday. We told them that we update them on the Faith in Business series, and it was fantastic. They meet apparently on the first Tuesday of every month. That was our first time, but it was great. Second Tuesday, I should say. Second Tuesday of every month.
It's a free breakfast. You just have to register to be there. It's held at the White River Conference Room over at Bass Pro, and it was a lovely event. About an hour and a half total.
Yeah, about an hour and a half, but it was awesome. So anyway, we hope you have a great day, and it's going to maybe get some sunshine today. The rain seems to be moving out of here, so that's good news. Stay tuned for Abby Dyer.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Wednesday. It's July 10th, and we are finally rain-free on the radar this morning. It's a nice change of pace after yesterday's soggy day in the Ozarks. Flood watch allowed to expire, and we are also talking about the sunshine coming back into play today in the forecast. It's very comfortable out this morning. In fact, as of 5 o'clock in the morning, we've got temperatures in the low 60s. Nice, very comfortable early on. If you want to get out, take a morning walk, let the dogs outside, I think this morning would be a fantastic time to do so as temperatures are just so mild. We will see the heat return in this forecast. And even by this afternoon, I've got upper 80s that are back. So maybe a bit on the warm side for your liking, even as we head into this afternoon. Sunshine, though, returns in this forecast, and we are talking about beautiful weather conditions by the time we get to this afternoon. Today's one of the nicer ones in the extended forecast. We're starting to see a much drier pattern move into the middle part of the country, and this is going to also allow a ridge of high pressure to build in. You know, when we talk about a ridge of high pressure in the summertime, it typically lends itself to this kind of hot, humid, dry pattern for several days. And that's exactly what we'll be seeing here in the Ozarks. This morning, though, nice and cool to start the day. Temperatures starting out in the low 60s. We'll warm to about 87 for that high temperature in Springfield today. I have highs that climb into the upper 80s with mostly sunny skies today. We're back into the 90s by this weekend, and the heat and humidity continues to build. Speaking of the weekend forecast, I've got numbers that will start feeling more like the triple digits again as we head into this weekend. So summertime will be back in full force. The rain has been kind of nice. It allowed for some cooler than average temperatures Tuesday and Wednesday. And now we are talking about numbers that are going to be climbing again as we head into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this weekend. Conditions today, I think we're ranging anywhere from the mid 80s to the low 90s. Now, most of us will stop in the upper 80s for highs today. A normal high temperature right around 90 degrees for this time of the year in July. It's typically hot, and that's what we're going to see return as we move closer to this weekend. I've got a dry stretch of days. If you're looking at any outdoor projects or anything, I think it will be a nice stretch of days to do that, as humidity is not too terrible, at least until we get to Sunday. Sunday is the day that I have those heat index values climbing back up and over that triple digit point. So we will see the heat and humidity return, but several dry days in a row and heat that slowly builds at least. We've got a couple of days here at the upper 80s in the forecast before the 90s are back for everybody. That happens by Saturday. Around the country, it's still very active across much of the United States. We've got record high temperatures continuing today for large portions of the West Coast. I've been talking about that deadly heat out west all week long. It hangs on today through the middle of the week. We are also talking about record high minimum temperatures, meaning the overnight lows are record warmth for much of the East Coast. This stretches all the way from the Gulf Coast to the East Coast. And warm starts to the day mean that by the afternoon, temperatures are just scorching. We've heard about the record highs in the North Carolina region, and I'm expecting that we see record high low temperatures as we move into the overnight hours tonight into early Thursday. Beryl, it's making its way through the lower Great Lakes today, bringing a whole lot of rain and active weather with it. The severe threat going down and down as that moves even further inland. And we are still talking about gusty winds, but the soggy conditions are the bigger deal with remnants of Beryl as they move through the country. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question for you on this Wednesday morning. The question that I left you with yesterday, did you look up at those raindrops? How fast does the average raindrop fall? The options that I gave you were A, 5 miles an hour, B, 9 miles an hour, C, 14 miles an hour, or D, 20 miles per hour. And the answer, if you guessed C, 14 miles an hour, that would be correct. That is the average speed of a raindrop. So when you take all the little tiny sprinkles and the big, huge, fat raindrops, average them together, typically raindrops fall at about 14 miles an hour as they make their way to the surface. The exact speed of each individual drop, well, it depends on the raindrop size and the weight from which it falls. Larger raindrops can fall as fast as 20 miles an hour, and those really tiny, small raindrops can take like 7 minutes to fall from the cloud all the way to the surface. I do not miss doing those calculations. I had this class in college, atmospheric physics, and you actually those would like be the exam questions, was like, how fast would this raindrop fall if it were this size? I did not enjoy those classes, but if you average them all together, typically it's about 14 miles an hour. And those big fat raindrops can fall even faster, which explains why if you're outside and it's pouring rain, it can almost hurt as it's hitting your skin. But congrats if C was your guess. Here's the question that I will leave you with for tomorrow. It's another weather one. On average, how many times per year is the Empire State Building struck by lightning? Do you think it is A, 5, B, 15 times, C, 25 times, or D, 50 times? How many lightning strikes do you think the Empire State Building gets on average every year? You can let me know your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. It is free to enter, and you could win $20 to Scooter's Coffee as a gift card. We give that away every single day here at Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Thank you so much to Scooters and to Rescue Towing. And thank you for listening early this morning. I'll chat again early tomorrow.